Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Oh, you know what? I'm silly. Why don't I just pull up the fact that we have the broadcast tonight. So less than 12 hours now, we are going to get the stream reveal. I am going into this positive. I have high expectations that Dokkan is going to come correct with kits and animations. So at least it'll always be a bummer that they, just ZAMASU, Fusion Zamasu, and Vegito Blue are just active skill attacks. If the kits and animations are great, at least, that will be less of a blow to us. So I'm hoping to see that. Now, this is going to be a massive stream, right? We should get a lot of events, explained to us. The chance time is going to be revealed. Sometimes they'll show us some, early EZAs of the celebration as well. Sometimes, right? We've seen them drop full character kits before. Sometimes they just tell us that the character's going to EZA, and they show us a glimpse of them, or sometimes they completely hide them. The focus of this video, a lot of people have been talking about this. Could we see AGL Vegito Blue and TEQ Fusion Zamasu EZA? Now, just immediately, if they did, that would be huge for these upcoming characters. Let me actually just pull up a shot of them. Hold on. Right here. It would be absolutely massive if these characters got, elite Dokkan Fest LR level talent, immediately added to their teams in the AGL Vegito Blue and the TEQ Fusion Zamasu. Now, these characters could be good with an EZA. Now, remember, the active skill condition, we can never see this improved. But there is the second part of this. This right here, yeah, just basically this highlighted part. This is not bad in this current meta. I'd love, we'd love to get Vegito Blue out, quicker than that, but turn 7, it's not a problem. As long as they don't, with the Global Dokkan Celebration, introduce short content again, this turn 7, the other thing too about this, by the way, is that future Saga as a category is 100% irrelevant. So, trying to use AGL, VB, or TEQ Fusion Zamasu right now, you can't really take advantage of that. Oh, well, if they're on turn 7, you could do it without the HP condition because the category is completely dead. And there's basically been, all we've had, essentially, remember, this, we're looking at the global side. So, Trunks was actually before the worldwide download celebration, right? So, in almost 2 years, all we had was Rose, his banner unit, and Super EZA Goku Black in 2 years. That's why, I know it is just a redo of the celebration, but at the same time, this is not Tournament of Power where every other celebration we're getting massive Tournament of Power releases, right? It's been 2 years since we've touched Future. So with these new characters right here, these conditions, the second part, that's not going to be an issue at all, right? So, the major problem with this character is this, which can be adjusted. I keep seeing talk of people going, oh, have we seen them adjust intros and stuff like that? It's yeah, guys, it's the intro is part of the passive. So they completely revamped that. It's just specifically active skills. Right now in the database, there's not a table for them to change that. And for whatever reason, they're choosing not to add it too. Recently, what we've seen them do is they will add, there was a recent character who had it, but I'm just going to ignore it and just go to the one I'm thinking of. These guys right here. So the active skill, what they do now is these TURs or characters EZing, they just straight up get a line in their passive skill specifically for the active skill, right? This right here. So, really, they could have just, updated the database, added the table or whatever, and then just attach that to the active skill, but they chose not to do that. And instead, they're going to put that in the passive, right? With these characters, these active skills can't really be adjusted too much from the passive, but the main, again, problem with this character is this, which can easily be adjusted. If this is changed to the first 7 turns, bam. Problem solved. Literally, that's it. 7 turns. And then also this, okay, sure, this is fine. They need at least defense for 1 turn on their 12 key. But I mean, I could see them after a potential EZA stacking both on both. Like, right, like maybe they greatly stack defense and regularly stack attack here, and then maybe they greatly stack attack and regularly stack defense on their 12 key. Something like that would make them a juggernaut for festival battles too. I imagine, you know, right around now, we should probably start getting more very, very, very high tiered options for festival battles. Like, I am hoping that we're going to see stacking with these characters. And remember, maybe you want to be like, oh my god, festival battles, sure. Remember, the red zone fights are very long too. Stacking is only going to make these characters even better for the red zone fights as well, which is, you know, kind of like the main content that everyone kind of looks to. So, I mean, if we look at this character and go, how can they become good after EZA? It's very easy. Just stacking and the intro buff. And then, I mean, they could do other stuff with a lot of this too, right? I mean, the high chance to dodge could just be moved to their basic effects. That would be fantastic for them. I mean, their kit, when you look at it, it is so easy to make them good. Like, it's not tough whatsoever to make this character. For how big of a meme they are, like, you know, we pull up Raditz, and it's like, bro, like, you know, we gotta do some stuff to make this guy good, right? Like, look, what are we doing? Are we giving him dodge? We giving him guard? We giving him damage reduction? Like, you gotta do so much to make this guy good. These boys, again, despite the biggest meme of all time that they are, it's not tough to make them really good with their kit. And for starters, changing these to 7 turns, which would be very generous, but that fixes the major issue for them. Which, again, this is the major issue right here. That the guard only lasts for 4 turns, right? And they're a dead duck in slot 2 or 3, but they're also going to be a dead duck in slot 1 without guard. So it's just, you know, they have major issues. This guy, it's going to be way easier for him, I think, even than the blues to be great. Kind of a similar thing. If all we got to do is just extend this out a little bit. I mean, hope he doesn't have stacking built in. Maybe they could give him stacking. I'm not really too sure how we might look at that, but I don't think that this guy would be very tough to make super good. And, okay, so remember with him, his transformation is a little bit different than every other one in the game's history, because he just straight up nullifies all attacks. So, right, like I said, 100% he cannot be touched. So, like, it's not tough for him, right? That's not gonna be that's not gonna be tough, dude, to make this guy, like, very effective. And remember, you know, the HP condition of this, you know, could be brutal, but this secondary part in this meta is not a problem at all. That's why, like, I am fully on board. Like, if someone wants to say this celebration is, like, this is such a stupid idea for a celebration because this is happening before these guys could EZA, I would agree. Because, I mean, I guess I ended up talking about, you know, how they might EZA and stuff like that first. But here's the thing. I don't think these guys are going to EZA. Here's the EZA chart from Misaka. Let's take a look at this. I just don't think they're going to EZA. If Dokkan wants to prove me wrong, and then, you know, I might as well make a tweet. AGL, Vegito Blue, and TEQ Fusion ZAMASU are not, in all caps, are not going to EZA. If Amatsu wants to prove me wrong, we could go back to the tweet and laugh, but then we get these two in the game good to make the celebration even better. I'm so on board with that. But it's just one of these things where eventually I feel like there's a good chance we would see them kind of break this pattern, right? Like, we know about the patterns and stuff like that with Dokkan, man. They kind of, like, break these and change this stuff all the time. We've seen it a million times. But it's been like this now for years. Where, so we see these, we see these years, right? They don't start easing any characters in here until they start with the anniversary characters. Now, 2020 and 2021, the first characters to EZA from the year were the anniversary Dokkan Fest. UI Goku Evolution Blue Vegeta and TEQ Vegito Blue and STR Gogeta Blue. They EZA'd first, and then it opened up and they would start EZAing characters. We saw this in a major way last year, where they EZA'd UI and Evolution Blue Vegeta, and then the very next character from 2021 to EZA was all the way down here, Super Vegeta. They dropped way down way, 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 way down, right? So it's like that kind of, we look at that as unlocking the year to be available for EZAs. Now, this year was slightly different, to be fair, in that the Part 2 LRs were the first ones to EZA from the year. Kaioken Goku and Great Ape Vegeta, they EZA'd first, and then the LR Gods and LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, they EZA'd afterwards. Although it was a week apart, or a couple of days apart. Like, it wasn't a long time at all. So, that happened. I don't expect to see 2023 characters EZA, which both of these boys are. Here, I'm just going to move this over here. Both of these boys are 2023 EZAs. I don't see them EZAing until next year, right? The 8th anniversary LRs is, remember, here, let me just pull them up. Alright guys, so here's the 8th anniversary LRs. So we have Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. We have GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. We have the base form Carnival Goku, and we have the Saiyan Saga Kid Gohan. My expectation is we will see all 4 of these characters EZA during the 11th anniversary in February of 2026. And then at that point, the rest of the 2023 characters will be able to EZA. So that's what I think is going to happen. So we could definitely, I mean, they already have like 10 plus EZAs, sub EZAs, and super EZAs that they could do for this celebration. But I do think without a shadow of a doubt, this celebration would be better if these two were revived to work on the teams as well. Absolutely. It would just be better. It'd be more fun. And then it would be like, you know, these guys can't fuse permanently, but then we would have these versions which could. And even though the first part of their active skill condition sucks ass, and it was horrible for the meta they were introduced in, the Dismal Future Red Zone meta, which was, you know, short fights, right now we're in a meta where this secondary condition is free. Turn 7 is going to happen every single fight, right? So, like, they could be good right now if they were given an EZA, but it's too early. So that's why I like Future Saga. I mean, if we use these guys as a good basis, this Future Saga Global Dokkan Celebration maybe should have just been next year instead, 2026. Now, we could, this is something Dokkan should, in my opinion, do, which is the time-limited buffs. If they wanted to give these guys time-limited buffs for, like, the next 2 months, that would be, to me, adequate as well. So then, during the peak of these characters' existence, we would have, you know, time-limited buffed version of AGL, Vegito Blue, and TEQ Fusion Zamasu to assist them. In my opinion, I think the time-limited buffs were a great idea and can really serve well to upgrade, like, new release teams, like, right when they come out. To me, I feel like that would incentivize players to summon. That, you know, it'd raise sales, stuff like that. Always giving time-limited buffs to some characters' teams. Like, you know, I haven't ironed out exactly which character for, like, Tao and Tien would get the time-limited buffs, right? But, like, imagine if Tao got some strong character time-limited buffs to go next to him. Imagine if LR, Kale, and Caulifla, when they dropped, the OG LR, Kale, and Caulifla got time-limited buffs. When Hit and Blue Kaioken, you know, imagine if STR Blue Kaioken got time-limited buffs. And then imagine if some other hit, like TEQ Hit, you know, or some, because TEQ Hit would be able to link up with this guy once this guy transforms, right? Imagine if they did that, and, like, how much more effectively some of these teams could run if these characters just got those time-limited buffs. I think it's a great system Dokkan created, and I think Dokkan needs to take advantage of it more. So let me know what you guys think. I'm ending this with, I do not expect whatsoever for these guys to EZA, but I'd love nothing more than Amatsu to just, you know, pull out his dick, slap me in the face, and say, guess what, they're EZAing. Please do. Please do, Amatsu. Because it will be gigantic for these characters if these guys are good. Like, if they're runnable during the celebration, you could vaguely make it work right now, I'm sure, with, like, good RNG, especially with this guy. Well, I mean, Vegito Blue is not exactly, like, he's not a complete loser either, but you just would have to be careful with him. Fusion Zamasu, though, is he's literally God once he transfers. He's invincible. So, I mean, he could be a little bit more effective, but let me know what you guys think about the potential of these guys using. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.